Hi, this is Jamie for your best. I'm here with yet another gigantic battery cell phone, the Oukitel K12. Don't get fooled by its very masculine and bulky looking. It's actually not a rugged phone, so do mind it. It's not shockproof. It's kind of water resistant, but it's not entirely waterproof, so don't try to test it out in a very extreme and harm way. So let's move on. I tried this phone. I have to be honest, I'm not a big fan of this. Not only because it's extremely bulky, despite the fact that it comes with a 10,000 milliamps of battery, but also there are some general spec that just doesn't speak to me. So let's get to that. We're gonna go through some basic specs before we get into the main point, which is the battery capacity. This one, Oukitel K12, supposedly have a 6.3-inch Full HD screen with a screen-to-body ratio over 92%. Granted, it's a gigantic screen with very, very tiny bezel. Not very tiny, but it's acceptable. Teardrop at the top for the front camera, and also its logo Oukitel, the bar at the bottom. There are different methods when it comes to sizing the screen to body ratio, but 92.7%, it's a bit of a controversy there. Inside is 6 gigs of RAM, running process, really nice, big RAM, and it's 64 gigs of storage, not exactly very big, but expandable with an extra 64 gigs. Again, also not very big because in total it only gives you 128 gigs. For those of you who are actually required and relied heavily on your cell phone storage, do keep that in mind. The maximum storage Oukitel K12 is able to provide is 128 gigs of storage. Inside is equipped with MediaTek 6765 processor, not exactly the very new one, but it's definitely a priority option for manufacturers, for phone company, if you want to produce a phone with a nice processor at a relatively nice price. Finally, before we get to the battery, we're gonna quickly mention the front camera and as well as the rear camera. So I'm gonna put out the front camera, which is 8 megapixel at the top, and see how it goes. I've been holding it as long as I can, and I've been trying to focus on my face as much as I can. The lack of electronic stabilizer does show some signs right here. You really need to have steady hand, and also when I enlarge. But granted, this is not really exactly the selling point for Oukitel K12, so we're gonna move past from this and we're gonna talk about the final point and also the point that really matters for Oukitel K12, which is the battery. As I mentioned earlier at the very beginning of this video, it's a 10,000 milliamps of battery that already supports fast charging by 30 volts, giving the idea is that this one can be charged to full from 0% to 100% within under 2 hours. So to wrap everything up, like I said, this is not my phone. It doesn't speak to me. I love my phone with big batteries, but there are other factors that matters to me. For those of you who take battery capacity into their priority consideration, maybe you need a long business trip with places that it's, you don't have easy access to sockets, to plugs. Maybe just because this is the phone that you should go to. It's merely over $200 US. You don't even have to make it as your priority phone. Oukitel K12 does provide extremely long standby time and an extremely fast charging time. That's really matter because my own phone doesn't really support fast charging. It takes over 2 hours for me to charge from 0% to 100%. That merely lasts me for like 8 hours. If you're interested, do check the links below. Do check our website for more specifications, for more demonstrations, and more for wowing factors of what K12 and its battery is capable of. Thank you for watching. See you next time.